As human beings, we learn that life feeds death, and death feeds life. It seems like a paradox. It feels untrue, but in the end, there is no experience that can continue or be created without the discontinuation or destruction of another experience. Humanity itself is one constant experience feeding itself through the ceasing of another experience by someone else. The fertilization of sentient experience is ceaseless. There will come a time when all sentient life ends, but it'll be a time far after so much sentient life has existed, has been fed by this death. And by the time that death, that final death of all sentient experience comes, by that time we will realize that it will happen again. Another Big Bang will happen. Another Ginnungagap will open. Niflheim and Muspelheim will feed each other and create a balance between stasis and passion. Stasis, torpor, ice will create another when it meets passion, power, drive, willpower. When these things meet, a whole new universe will be created. That's what it means when we hear of Ginnungagap in Norse mythology. These meeting of two forces, ice and fire, they all hold great representation within our very being, not just in the elements of ice and fire, not just in torpor and drive, but the meeting of the two to create possibility for future life and for sentience. Sentience is something that we've achieved over a long period of time, billions of years. Different forms of matter meeting, creating life, different forms of energy, feeding that life. And it developing in a way that takes a long time. But in the cosmic spectrum, the amount of time it took for life to be created and sentience to be created is but a drop in the potential of what can come in the future. We must understand that there are prices to be paid for the rewards we gain in existence. And when these rewards are depleted, we will have to rest again. All atoms, all life, must return to the darkness of death to sit, to meld and create the potential for new life in the future, in future universes, after future Big Bangs. And it won't stop for a very long time, I'm sure of this. If I'm right about any of it, I'm sure that it won't stop until every single atom has ascended. Just as the rune Ingles for Flare, he who descends, the phallus that descends, the rain that descends upon the earth, metaphorical and literal. Just as it meets with Bakana, growth, the mother world, the mother force in the world, that which nourishes so that it can ascend, meeting with the willpower of Ingles, creating a growth of life and sentience. Just as these things meet in the human being, we will sprout again, even when we fall. For sentient life and life itself is meant to fall after producing a certain amount of consciousness, after producing a certain amount of opportunity for every atom to ascend to its rightful state, the Philosopher's Stone in a way, becoming gold, every atom becoming gold through the Philosopher's Stone of the heart, through the understanding and the enlightenment of the being. Once every single cycle produces a certain amount of this gold through the philosopher's stone of the heart, through the experience, then it must fall again so that another cycle can arise. And eventually, we will reach that point where there is nothing to rise from, but we go to that point, that phase, which is endless, that infinity, which is the purpose of this whole process, this infinite ascension. Once every atom has reached that, then there will be no point in creation anymore. But there are many creations to come before we reach that infinite ascension, which will never stop. And it's the expansion of consciousness that is a divided phase, but once reached, cannot be stopped. And once everything is rising up without a point from which to grow, but is the growth itself, that's when every single atom has reached enlightenment. And that's when creation will have completed its goal. All the different creations, all the different universes, all the different dimensions will have reached that goal of absolute ascension, infinite ascension. And that's what we have to look forward to as beings who still exist here. We haven't all gotten there yet, but we will. And that's all I have to say about life and death for now. Thank you for watching.